AOC says the police are the problem.
What we're seeing here is just a history. We have a history in this country of student activism and student protest. To see a university call police enforcement in on the very students whose safety they are in charge of, I think is extremely alarming.
Morning Joe, who knows what defund the police did to Democrats, are terrified this is Joe Biden's January 6th.
We've all been sitting and watching this going, what the hell is going on? What are these universities doing? Why aren't they doing something? And I'll echo the horror that this does look like January 6th. What a terrible example for our students.
Biden, who can't stop talking about January 6th, is hiding under his desk. Michael Moore says if Biden doesn't get it together, Trump's president.
I'd like to speak to one particular individual, and that is President Biden. His chance of not being reelected, I think at this point, is so great. We're going to lose the election. We're going to lose Michigan if we don't turn this around. If President Biden doesn't turn this around, that is going to do more to put Trump back in the White House. And I refuse to have Donald Trump back in the White House.
Well, Michael, you can throw a tantrum all you want, but it seems that you're betting on the wrong horse. Dementia Joe hasn't done anything because he can't do anything. The libnuts are in a death spiral, and it seems every single day they say something more stupid than the day before. Case in point, your favorite Congresswoman, AOC. The fact that y'all keep letting her get in front of microphones makes no sense. She literally spews the most stupid crap imaginable, and Dementia Joe has made her a de facto spokesperson. You have to accept it. She's the liaison with your nutty base. Just listen again to what that nutbag said.
What we're seeing here is just a history. We have a history in this country of student activism and student protest.
So she's pointing out the obvious and trying to make it sound like she's saying something profound. Yes, there have been protests on college campuses forever. What's your point?
To see a university call police enforcement in on the very students whose safety they are in charge of, I think.
So she's pissed off because universities are calling the police in on the very students they're in charge of protecting. Doesn't she realize that, some of these colleges may have 30, 40,000 students on campus and this little collage of 200 or so nutbags? What about protecting the other 38,907.50? You can just worry about the 250. You got this entire large group of people who are being infringed upon, who can't go to class, who are getting accosted as they walk down the street. What about the police having to protect them? Oh, they're not important to your cause.
It's extremely alarming.
It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. They put her out there and stick microphones in front of her face, and she says stupid stuff like that. Like, hey, listen, we're here to protect the kids, and why would you call the police? To protect the other kids. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Every time they stick a microphone in this woman's face, she just completely flubs it. She's pissed off. She's ticked off because the university brought the police in with a huge show of force because of this small group of people who are causing the problems. There's two things wrong with that. First, the university is charged with protecting the entire college community. And secondly, if you don't do stupid shit, you won't get arrested. The nuts at the Columbia protest actually held 2 janitors hostage. That's against the law. What about their protection? How do you expect to win a campaign when you bring out the most stupid, idiotic messages ever? And then you couple that by bringing out the most stupid, idiotic messengers that you can find. And where's Dementia Joe? Why are they hiding him? If Michael Moore is pleading for Joe to make something happen, to do something, you know it's really bad. And as you saw, even Morning Joe called it out and said what it is. I can't even say the word here on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. So where's Joe?
You mentioned what he said in 2017 after Charlottesville. He said about Trump's response then, Charlottesville for me was a moment where I thought silence would be complicity.
Yeah.
So how do you explain his silence this week?
The president has not been silent on this issue when it comes to hate speech, anti-Semitism. He launched the first ever anti-Semitism strategy to counter anti-Semitism, something that no other president did. No other president did.
A school building at an Ivy League campus got taken over.
And we call that out, and we said that is not peacefully protesting. taking over a building at a university or a college is not peacefully protesting. And we've been very clear. Taking more than 100 new actions to deal with anti-Semitism in this administration, no one has ever done that before. Not any other administration has ever done that before. We're going to continue. We're going to continue to do the work.
Sorry, Raggedy Ann, no one is buying your gaslighting anymore. Dementia Joe is invisible, and the American people know it. What must really have these libtards worried is how bad things are backfiring on them. Even the highly liberal mayor of New York has had enough. Hearing him talk today tells me for sure y'all have crossed the Rubicon. You have seriously gone a bridge too far in all these protests.
And another significant part of the video was at the end. That's our flag, folks. Don't take over our buildings and put another flag up. That may be fine to other people, but it's not to me. My uncle died defending this country. And these men and women put their lives on the line. And it's despicable that schools will allow another country flag to fly in our country. So blame me for being proud to be an American. And I thank Commissioner Daughtry for putting that flag back up. We're not surrendering our way of life to anyone.
That's it. You can actually see it right now. They're done. If you've got Eric Adams in New York complaining about what they're doing and trying to raise another country's flag on American soil, you've gone too far. Have your little sit-ins and chant your little stupid chants, but understand America has had enough of your tantrums. What did AOC think would happen when America rose up and said, we've had enough of your little soirees on these college campuses? Well, now we have our answer, and the rebuke of the nuts is spreading. You see, the protesters at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, they did the same thing as the nutbags did in New York. They decided they were going to take down the American flag and raise the Palestinian flag. Big mistake. It pissed off patriotic UNC students, and they were done with the nonsense. They have had it. And you have to realize there are a lot more of the sane and normal students than the nutty ones who are protesting. Here's what happened. So, of course, the little nuts surrounded the flagpole here and decided they were going to take down the American flag and replace it with the Palestinian flag. And all was doing fine until the patriotic students showed up. And just watch what happens here. They just watch how it happens. Idiots, absolute idiots. And here we go. They're pulling this Palestinian flag down. Police surrounding the flagpole. And I love what happened. And this all happened because of some frat boys on UNC. Pull that flag down. Pull it down, stomp on it, do whatever you want to do it, throw it in the trash, get rid of it. This is America. The guy in there in the suit is the chancellor, or the interim chancellor for the University of North Carolina. He led it. Unlike the chancellor at Columbia, this guy was in the thick of it all. And that's what happened here. USA, USA, USA. And then what happens next shows you America's had enough of this stuff. We raise the American flag, and they're going to start singing the national anthem. Love it. Absolutely love it. Way to go, boys. I almost think we're going to hear this across campuses across the country. Normal kids are not going to put up with this shit any longer. I've got a picture of this. This is an iconic photo of them getting ready to put the flag up, making sure the American flag, United States flag, does not touch the ground. And these are frat kids who just completely repelled the nuts. And they stood there as these nuts started throwing things at them. This is how it starts. You know it. This is how it begins. We're taking back these college campuses and turning America around. I mean, I can't believe I saw this. It made my heart swell because I've been waiting for young kids, the youth of America, to step up and take ownership of this and take your own campus back. Don't wait for the police. Look at them, they're throwing stuff at them, but they're not getting too close. They know better than that. How does this make you feel?
Everybody.
Now, this is the chancellor of the University of North Carolina, and he makes a perfect statement here.
Goes to school here, everybody who lives and works here. The flag represents all of us. To take down that flag and put up another flag, no matter what other flag it is, that's antithetical to who we are, what this university stands for, what we have done.
And so now the Banshees are going to try and outscream him, but the damage has already been done. They ripped down that Palestinian flag and they raised Old Glory.
For 229 years. The broad majority of this campus knows how to express their views without shouting, without violating university policy.
That's all they could do is just scream like just nuts. I mean, literally screaming like nuts while this guy's talking. And I'm glad he didn't back down 1 inch, and he didn't wait like the idiot up at Columbia University who let him run wild for 2 weeks. That flag means everything. That is going to spread. That is going to be a message that will continue to spread across campuses. We may see some skirmishes. We might see that happen, but that's the only way to put this genie back in a bottle and get these nuts out of the way. I would never have thought that frat boys would lead the way. The patriotic students on campus are taking back American campuses. No violence, no need for arrests. The sane students have the numbers behind them. If you keep out the outside agitators, the campuses are going to be fine. And after all, we're just talking about a group of kids singing the national anthem, right? And when America saw what these kids did, what these frat boys did, they stood behind them 100%. A GoFundMe page has been set up to throw a rager, back in our days we called them keg parties, for the Pi Cap guys at UNC who defended the American flag from the commies on campus. Personally, I can't think of a better use for your money at the moment. These frat boys who held up the American flag at UNC and told a pro-Palestine protester to lose some weight have had nearly $350,000 raised from over 11,000 different people. What an epic burn on these anti-Israel nuts. In just one day, the boys have brought in $350,000. They even received a $10,000 donation from billionaire Bill Ackman. In a statement from the fraternity, the boys said, "We are overwhelmed by your glorious, patriotic Americans who value good beer and great times. We are in contact with multiple leaders from fraternities whose members help defend the flag, including Alpha Epsilon Pi and others, in addition to Pi Kappa Psi. This is well-deserved. Have fun, boys." $350,000. I just wanted to leave this up so you could see it. If you wanted to go and donate to these young men who stood for the American flag instead of tearing down a campus, please go ahead and click and feel free to donate and show these boys this is what America is truly all about. And of course, you had to expect it. Trump is behind these students 100%.
To every college president, I say remove the encampments immediately, vanquish the radicals, and take back our campuses for all of the normal students who want a safe place from which to learn.
That's our guy. But back to Michael Moore for a second. He sees it. He knows right now that Americans have had enough of Dementia Joe. His panic underscores another issue for the left. What exactly do you think Americans are going to do if they put Donald Trump in jail? I can tell you the answer. You don't want to around and find out. But unfortunately for them, the left is stupid enough to try. So get your popcorn ready, people. The games have just begun. And the only question is, Are you ready to do your part? Let me know what you think about all of this and where you stand, especially in regards to a Palestinian flag being raised over American soil. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that. It's enough. We're done with it. Let me know what you think.